What's going on, everyone? We got Ben, John here. Ben, where are you from?
Washington State, the beautiful state of Washington, my friend.
And so what do you got going on out there?
Right now, I own a construction business that I've had for about almost 5 years now.
So what was it like in the beginning when you started your construction business 5 years ago?
There's a lot of failures that I went through in order to actually get some momentum to start profiting. I didn't know how to bid, I didn't know how to sell people, I didn't know how to do a lot of things in business. I tried doing everything myself. I tried wearing all the hats. I was doing all the marketing, the selling, the building, my taxes. And so, yeah, it was a pain in the butt the first year and a half before I actually gained some traction. By the way, when I say failures, it's not a bad thing. I needed to go through those failures. I learned that I didn't know what I was doing, and I learned that I needed to seek out help and kind of drop my ego and get vulnerable and ask for help from the right person. My nephew gave me the 10X rulebook. I read that thing and got obsessed with Grant and just started binge watching all his YouTube videos and started applying all the things that he taught me. And I realized at that point, I was like, this is the guy that I need to be paying attention to. I need to start doing what he's telling me to do. I did that and results started happening.
So what did you do though?
I learned how to sell more than anything. I knew how to sell, I didn't know how to close. And so a lot of people don't know that there's actually a difference between that. And so I was selling my face off. I would go drive 2 hours to go do an appointment, do a bid, spend an hour or two with the customer, drive another hour or two back, and then spend another hour doing a proposal and emailing it to them and calling them. And I'm like 7 hours in on this one appointment and they would never get back to me. Never return my voicemail, never email me back. And I took a beating like that for over a year and a half. And I was like, what is going on? The biggest thing was learning how to close people and how to help them make sense of why they should do business with me, why I have a solution to their problem. Information, the one thing I learned from Grant was give them information. That's what people want. And then I just lean on my follow-up game. I call them back once or twice every week and say, hey, have you had a chance to think about that? Do you have any more questions? Do you need any more information? And the reason for that is just to emphasize our level of commitment of service to them. And I learned how to ask hard questions. And if they say, whatever, I gotta think about it, it's too much money, I'll ask another hard question. Like, what is your real concern? Things like that. And that really moves the needle in the sales process.
So you call yourself the Misguided Mentor.
Yeah.
What should people look for when searching for a mentor?
I love that question. Thinking about my experience, I was following probably 6 to 8 different social media mentors. And I got a lot of value out of them. But what I realized was I would take advice from one and take advice from another, and it wouldn't always be, it would contradict sometimes. And so I realized, well, this person's telling me to do this, and I'm gonna try it. This person's telling me not to do that, or telling me to do something different that contradicts that. I can't do that. And so I made it a decision to focus on one person. So you're never gonna fully agree with everybody 100%, right? But what you need to do is just kind of take a look at these prospecting mentors and find out who you're in agreement with the most. And that's how I would say you should approach it. But just don't have an unrealistic expectation that you're gonna agree with a mentor 100%. Even Grant's been my mentor for over 3 years, and there's some things that he says, I'm like, I don't know if I agree about that. But realistically speaking, almost probably 95% of what he says is in alignment with what I believe to be true and has worked.
What is one last message you have for the people?
Sometimes we have hard time asking for help and we have our egos, or we can be our own worst enemy. Our thoughts can kind of trick us and talk us into making sense of why we should or should not do something that we know is good for us. And so I would just say, if you have those thoughts, just acknowledge it and push back into it. I would say, like, deliberately go against what your natural instinct is, which is like a safe governor in our self that happens. Like, you got to get uncomfortable, you got to go into the danger zone sometimes. So I would say, drop the ego, look for a mentor, and ask for help.
Boom. Look at that. Ben, where can they find you?
My coaching business is Benjamin John MIC, which is Massive Impact Coaching, which is my business coaching company. And then my personal page is primordial_Ben. And it'll have all my businesses on there.
There we go. Ben John for you.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me too. I appreciate it.
Thank you.